Hello everyone. Welcome to video number 27. I'm Marlene Moore, the creator of the Back to Basics piano method. Although I prefer the words piano program, because it's not really a method. It's really, I would say, a curriculum, more of a curriculum than a method. Most methods are just for primary children. This isn't. It's for right up to advanced. And here we are at the advanced level. I have a lot of people that have asked me, what's the difference between traditional teaching of piano and Suzuki teaching of piano? And why is Back to Basics called a hybrid of both of those parts? Well, I'll tell you. What I've tried to do is to do a mid-ground hybrid kind of program whereby I'm presenting the best of traditional piano teaching and hopefully the best of Suzuki piano learning. In that, we combine the ideas of rote teaching and learning to sight read right from the beginning. At this stage, it's a lot of other things, but that's the basic answer I give most people. Where we're at now, in almost getting into book 9, you can choose. You should know now how your students learn. Are they auditory, kinesthetic, or visual learners? I suppose you're tired of me saying that, but you really need to know, how does your student learn? That's the most important diagnostic tool that you can have for teaching piano. You have to know how that student learns. You can't just go ahead and plow through and do everything the same for every student. I think you know that, that's for sure. By book 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, they're getting pretty advanced, especially book 9 and 10. And you need to decide, does that student need more rote teaching or more sight reading? Because at this point, they should be able to sight read anything. But most students can, but not all. Not all can do that. Some might still need more help with rote teaching. Or you might need one phrase that is going to be just for sight reading. However, whether you're teaching by rote or teaching by sight, when you have one line of music or one phrase, you're still going to be putting that little red dot on that spot where it is the stop, think, go. What we're calling sequential learning, one step at a time, and memorizing that section. Even if the child or the adult is a visual learner, you're still going to be able to teach that. That's the end of the phrase. And that's where the little red ball will go, where you're going to say stop, think, go. And they're going to do that again and again and again. Visually or auditorily until they have mastered that. And the same, this is Natal Dance from book 8. We've got 2 left in book 8. So they're also going to be having learned that left hand part, which is written in the treble. That's step 1. Over and over again until they don't need to look up there, because memorization is so important. It is important for recitals, for self-esteem, for every part of learning, because music is a listening thing, isn't it? It's a listening thing. Then they put that together. That's step 1. You have a little red ball there. Stop, think, go. Play it again. And that's That's it. Then go on to the next one. Teach the right hand until it's memorized. Teach the left hand until it's memorized. Hands together until it's memorized. I'll play some of this one for you. I wrote this piece called Natal Dance. This title comes from my daughter. My daughter's name is Heather, and she loved this piece. I wrote it when she was about 8 years old, and she thought up this title because she said it sounded like a newborn baby that was going to be born, the natal dance, and the joy of the parents. Anyway, it's called Natal Dance, thanks to Heather. That's a good recital piece. Did you hear that retardando at the end? Very, very important. Watch the fingering in this piece. It can be kind of tricky. And make sure that your student is secure with octave studies before you ever begin this piece. We're going to be talking more about octave studies soon. I'm going to give you special exercises for octave studies in either book 9 or 10. So stay tuned for that. New Blue Dancing Shoes is also a recent piece that I wrote. We're on page 37, the last piece in book 8. And there are some mistakes here. If you look at, I don't know why there are mistakes, whether it's my fault or Russell's fault, who does the editing, but doesn't matter. They need to be changed. Look at measure 1, should be C, E, G, B. What it's saying is B, D, and it's supposed to be G, B. C, E, G, B. It was formerly this. And that's weak. That's compositionally very weak to have 2 D's playing there. It needs a balance, so I'm changing it to B. So change that, please. Measure 1, C, E, then G, and then B. And the same thing holds true for measure 1, 2, 3. It's the same idea. C, E, G, B. Alrighty? Repeat. Repeat. Then back to the beginning. speed. The tempo for this should be a little faster. And so on. But you know, a lot of students can't handle that speed for this piece. There's a lot of jumping around. So if they can't, just keep it slower. Alrighty? We are done, book 8. Isn't that exciting? Make sure that you fill out the certificate at the end. And the child or adult has to do this little song at the end. It's not hard. I hope you've got Making Melodies, the book that is associated with all of the Back to Basics books that is to do with composition and improvisation. This is in A minor, My Song, and the composer is the student, of course. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, that's a very, very tricky one. They'll have trouble with that. They have to think. One, two, three, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to be a hard one. It can be as easy as they want to do. Fill out the certificate, and we are done. Book 8. Yay! We're done book 8. Fantabulous. And we're now into book 9. So get out your book 9. Read To the Teacher at the beginning. The technical requirements, companion books. And our table of contents take us to the Clementi Sonatina, a piece called Solitude that I wrote. Echosace by Beethoven. Hornpipe by me. Prelude by Bach. Air by Mozart. Octave Study by Czerny. Sonatina by Kuhlau. German Dance by Beethoven. And Tangos by me. And our first one is Sonatina. So this would be step 1 in Sonatina. Unless the student is a little slower, then make the step less. Okay? Alrighty. Sonatina. Before I forget, there's a mistake on measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at measure 6. That's supposed to be a F sharp that goes with the E. So it's written to go with the C. It's written like this, which is wrong. It's supposed to be, and now it plays here. So write that in. F sharp goes with the E. So I'm going to do this again. There we are. And then into the next section, which is, and so on. This is a long piece, quite long. Lots of scale passages there, and then we get into the second movement in F major. Very legato. The pedal here, opens it up. Hear the retard there? I got more new glasses and they still don't work. Another trip to the optometrist. Okay, we're on page 7. Very sweetly. Fermata, hang on to it, hang on to it, hang on to it. No pause is written here, but put a pause in here anyway because when you go from one movement to the next, there should be a little pause. I tell the children to count to 10. Third movement. So on. Anyway, you've all heard this one before, I'm sure. It's a long one. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Break it into sections. Teach it one section at a time. Right hand first, left hand second, and then put it together in sections. Don't let them go ahead. Make them sure that they've mastered each step before they go on. If I've taught you nothing else, I hope that I've taught you that. That is the most important part. So many people are having trouble with recitals, having to drag their piano music to recitals. That shouldn't happen. We should all be able to memorize. Even the slowest children should be able to memorize a piece, no matter what level they're at. So make sure you teach in steps. It really, really works. I've been at this for over 50 years. It works. Please believe me, it works. Solitude, that I wrote many years ago. Very slow, rather wistful kind of piece, but well worth learning because in the left hand they're getting broken 4-note forms. So it's all going together this way. Oh, sorry. That way, if they were solid. But these are broken, and they need this. Really teaches them how to get that left hand going and to not play a really boring left hand. The right hand is pretty much single notes till it gets into the octaves. We are in G major. Octaves. see what I'm doing here? It's not it's a full octave. I'm switching to my fourth finger. If a student can reach that, do that. It's much easier. Watch my right hand. Fifth finger by itself, and then octave. Octave, fifth finger. I switch it then to the fourth if they can reach it. You don't have to. It just sounds a little bit more connected if you can do it that way. You'll have to teach that, so try that one out yourself. Now we're on to Beethoven, Écossaise, the fun one. I'll just play a little bit of this. I think everybody knows this piece. G major. I love scales. Do you love scales? I hope you love scales by now. Here we go. Écossaise means Scottish dance. And so on. It's a fun piece. Nice little octaves in it. I would teach that as a sight piece, if they can handle that. Hornpipe. Alrighty, hornpipe. I'll see how far I can go. I wrote this one a long time ago. This piece is quite often on the radio. Carrie Barnes plays it on her One World radio music show in England. So maybe you've heard it before. It's become quite popular in the sheet music. Alrighty, let's try this one, hornpipe. I thought I could. I haven't played that piece for a long time. It's an old piece. It goes back to the 80s. I'm surprised that I could play it that well, even though I made some mistakes. I'm shocked. I wasn't going to play it all. Anyway, have fun with that one. It's a happy piece. It's a long one, but it's a happy piece. I like happy pieces. Do you? I like the sad ones too. I like pieces that are well written. And here's one that's extremely well written. I'm not going to play all of it, but it's Bach. Do you like Bach? Bach's Prelude is in Book 9. One of my favorite Bach pieces. It's so beautiful. Did you see what I'm doing with my right hand here? Nice roll, wrist moving this way. Do you see why I'm always hung up on the wrist? Why we learn wrist staccato from the beginning? And why we learn it in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how to move the wrist. Move the wrist. It's the same thing here in the Bach Prelude. Very same. Watch my right hand. Rotate the wrist. Practice that. If you have never done that, practice rotating your wrist. I sometimes think that we're only as good as our big toe and our wrist. If we know how to pedal and we know how to rotate and do a good staccato and a good legato, there you go. We become good pianists. Air by Mozart. Oh, happy Mozart. He's happy today too. I should tell you the fingering's tricky here. You can go thumb, 2, switch to the 1 on the same D, or you can start with your 2 and put the thumb under. I like I like both, but I think it's easier to go 2, 1. But you can miss the D also if you do it that way. So try it both ways. 1, 2, switch to the thumb on the D. Okay, I don't even know what I do. I'm not sure what I do there. We're in D major. Here we go. Play your scale first. Tune up the ears. All D major triads broken in the left hand. Then that repeats and then it goes on to... that right? Ah, I didn't. Hate these new glasses. Just hate these new glasses. I'm going to go back and get her to enlarge them. That's the way it goes, right? As you get older, maybe I'll need binoculars by next year. Who knows? Anyway, octave study number 2 by Czerny. Oh, I hope you love Czerny. I had one student who said he hated Czerny. And I said, why? And he said, I don't know, I just hate Czerny. 1 year later, he loved Czerny. I'm going to look at my time before we go ahead with this next one here. Where are we at? My goodness, I think we're going to have to do this one in our next video. That's okay. So we'll start with octave study number 2 by Czerny on our next video. This has been fun today. I've had such a good workout and I've enjoyed talking with you. I hope you started with video 1 and that you're now watching video 27. There's 32 videos altogether, and I'll see you in video number 28. Okay, bye for now.